Sophia, what did I tell you about getting on the computer? What are you doing? Warning? What have you been doing? Whoa, what are you doing? You're opening Microsoft Word? You need to write a letter? You want to write a letter to Santa? Is that what you're doing? Little Miss Prissy Pants, getting on the computer. Hello everyone and welcome back to Vlogmas Day 18. So we are coming up on the final stretch of Vlogmas, which is really hard to believe. I actually can't believe how fast it's flown by. But then I think back and I'm like, well, yeah, because I'm constantly doing something for these videos. So in real time, tonight is the 17th of December. 1 week from today, we all know who comes on Christmas Eve night. And so I thought this was a really good time to do this video, and I thought I'd do something a little more on the personal side and really put the vlog in Vlogmas. A lot of my videos have been like very activity focused, but I thought, you know, tonight let's just do a story time. We need to have a story time, Christmas story time. It's time to talk about Santa Claus a little bit and some of my personal experiences. And we have Santa's workshop here showcased, so we might as well just get into it. For a little bit of background, my parents, they get divorced whenever I was very young. Whenever it got to be the holiday season, while sad, it was actually kind of exciting because it was like you got two of everything. So 2 Christmases was always something that was welcomed, but it also raised a lot of questions. Talking about Santa Claus, and it's like, why would he leave me gifts at 2 different houses? You know, like, how does that work? What are the logistics for that? You know what I'm saying? To stroll down memory lane with some Santa Claus gifts, my very first Christmas, I got this really cute walker. It was kind of like a car, and I was only 3 months old. And my mom tells me that my brother, at the time, he's about 6.5 years older than I am. He was actually really upset that Santa did not bring me a lot that year, which I think is actually really cute. Apparently he made a big deal about Santa only bringing me 2 or 3 items, and my mom was like, well, he's just a little bitty baby, so he doesn't need a lot, is kind of what she told him. Moving forward, one of my favorite toys when I was a toddler that I got from Santa Claus was an indoor train set, but not a toy train. It was one that I could actually sit on and ride around the house. And my mom says that I rode that thing to death. You know, breezing through some of these first Christmas memories. One of the funniest stories, and whenever I asked my mom specifically, what would you say was the most exciting gift that I got from Santa? This was also the first thing that I put on the list to talk about with you guys tonight, and that was a Bop It. So I'm totally showing my age in this video. I wanted a Bop It so badly the year they came out, and my mom tried so hard to find one for me to get from Santa Claus, and she could not find one anywhere, like anywhere. She says she spent so much time trying to find me one. And this, you know, keep in mind, this is before, you know, online shopping and all that good stuff that we have nowadays. What she ended up doing, it was days after Christmas, and she ended up getting it and wrapping it up in the same wrapping paper as Santa Claus from a few days before, and stuck it under the couch. So what kind of happened in our household was that we had 2 couches. We had a small couch and a big couch. And my brother's gifts would be on the big couch and mine would be on the small couch. And so what she did was she hid the Bop It wrapped up underneath the couch, and she was cleaning one day and saw the present under the couch and yelled at me to come in the living room. And so I came in the living room and she was like, I found a gift under the couch. And of course, like I was a little kid, I was falling for it, and I instantly knew what it had to be, and I was so excited. And it was my Bop It that I had asked from Santa Claus. It's the things that they do for us, the things our parents do that you don't find out until several years later. Thinking back on that, I remember genuinely thinking that I had checked under the couch the day of Christmas to see if perhaps a Bop It was underneath there, but I could have sworn that I didn't see anything. That was one of my most memorable gifts that I got from Santa Claus, that's one that always comes to the front of my mind that I was so excited to get. But my mom definitely did all she could to make sure we had very special Christmases. Not focusing on that being what Christmas is about, but my mom didn't have a lot growing up, and you always hear these stories, especially on Hallmark Channel. They have all these Christmas movies where they're like this, and they have these characters where they overcompensate for Christmas because they didn't have very much for Christmas. But that's kind of where it stems from, honestly. Like, she didn't have a lot growing up, and so she tried to do the best she could. And I don't want to make it seem all one-sided like it was just her, but my parents in general tried to do the best they could to give us a really wonderful Christmas morning, to have things to open. But I will say, I found out that Santa Claus was not real at a very young age, and the story is unfortunately not that exciting, which is why I can't just do a video on how I found out Santa wasn't real. Here it goes, not to blame my dad or anything, but it happened on his watch. Growing up, he had these skull cans. My dad had hundreds of these skull cans stored in his closet in garbage bags. And what I'd do, they were all clean, I promise. But what I would do is I would build with them. So one day I was going into his closet to look for these, and I came across a television. It was a brand new TV. I was like, whoa, and I immediately knew that it had to be for Christmas, and I was really hoping that it was not what I thought it was going to be. Knowing me, I was a smart little kid. I knew when not to open my mouth. Most of the time. I didn't call a meeting and was like, oh, I found a TV. I didn't let anybody know. I think my brother knew because he was at home at the time, and so whenever I saw the television in the closet, I think I went and got him and brought him in there. Didn't say anything. We didn't let our parents know, nothing. I kept it on the back of my mind. I was like, well, I wonder, if Santa is bringing me that. I had my suspicions, as a kid. I did. I had my suspicions right then and there. I was like, is Santa gonna bring me this TV? And by Santa, I mean Santa gonna bring me this TV. And so I remember that night and Christmas Eve that year, I remember being very careful and paying attention to what was happening in the house and listening very intently. First of all, I could not sleep because I was so worried that I was about to find out that Santa Claus was not real. And then on top of that, what ended up happening was, I think because I was turned away from my doorway, they thought I was asleep, but I wasn't asleep. In the house I grew up in, we had a really long hallway. The master bedroom was at the very end. So if he was keeping the stuff in the master bedroom, you had to carry it all the way to the living room, so you had to pass all of the bedrooms. So I remember hearing scurrying back and forth and whispering, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna get out of bed, I'm gonna pretend like I'm sleeping, I'm still sleeping. If I just think hard enough, I'm gonna fall asleep. So I fall asleep, and then the next morning, I just have the weirdest pit in my stomach because I saw this big box that wasn't even fully wrapped and could tell that it was a TV. And I was like, oh no, no. Still, knowing me, I kept my mouth shut. I felt so bad because I felt like I ruined everything. Like, I ruined my own surprise. And then my dad was saying it was from Santa, and in my head I was like, no, it's not, you're lying to me. But I was also lying to him because I didn't tell him that I knew. I just felt so weird that Christmas morning. It was just, everything was off. I felt terrible, and then I had to go to my mom's house. So what would happen was I would spend Christmas Eve at my dad's and then spend Christmas Day with my mom. So I'd wake up at my dad's house, do presents, and then I'd go to my mom's house and stay there. Even going over to my mom's after that was so weird because it's like, I knew at that point, I think I went a couple of years where I did not let them know that I knew Santa was not real. And it was just because I had so much guilt, and I felt bad because they were trying to be so excited about it and everything. I was like, in my head, I was like, you don't have to do this. I was just like, you don't have to do this. I know. I felt bad because I didn't want to ruin the fun for them. And I thought that I would ruin the fun for them if I was like, I know he's not real, I'm like, it's gonna be that kid. I asked them tonight. They thought that my brother had told me, and that's how I knew. So I was like, this whole time you didn't even know that I knew that I found out by myself. And so that was kind of funny to find out tonight. But even though we knew, it was still just kind of a tradition that we would do, and we'd still have like a gift from Santa. And so we'd still get our bigger Christmas gifts on Christmas morning, even though we knew at the time, but it was still just kind of a fun thing because it's like you still didn't know. There was that little bit of unexpectedness. And that's what made it still exciting, even though we knew it was our parents. It was like, at that point, it didn't matter who it was. It was just the fact that, ooh, we're gonna have a little something extra that we're not expecting the next morning. So, you know, it worked out fine. And one thing my mom would always tell my brother and I is that Santa exists if you believe he does. And if you don't believe he does, then he doesn't have to. I'm gonna totally steal that and use that with my kiddos, because it's like, if your kids don't want to believe in them, then why go through the trouble of making them happen, you know? So keep that in mind. There's a Christmas tip for all you future parents out there. I know I'm one to talk right now. One thing I almost forgot to leave off, which I'm very shook by because he's been in so many of our videos. This whole tradition also kind of stems from Santa Claus. I would get a nutcracker every year, and I have to say that this is one of the most special memories I have as well, because I have a whole nutcracker collection. They still get me nutcrackers every year for Christmas. I thought of doing a video on my nutcracker collection, which I would love to do. I just don't have them all here with me. I have some in Austin, I have some in storage here. I have a ton of nutcrackers, and I love that tradition. I think it's one thing that I will always cherish and remember in getting for Christmas. I love you very much, Mr. Nutcracker. I love you too. Ha 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 ha. Okay, I think it's time to wrap this thing up. I hope you enjoyed this video. I thought it would be something a little bit of a different pace from what I've been doing, where I get to actually just kind of chat with you guys and let you know a little bit more about me and my past. And I think these are the types of things that even with your best friends, you don't really share these types of stories as much. I would say a lot of my close friends don't even know these stories. And so it was really fun to just get to touch on them a little bit with you all. I'd love to hear down below what some of your stories are, like on how you found out Santa was not real. I love the whole like nostalgic feel of it all. And I think that's why I wanted to do this video tonight, because I can't believe a week from today is Christmas Eve. And then for you guys watching the video, it's a week until Christmas. Like, what is going on? This year has flown by. Go ahead and smash that like button. I'd greatly appreciate it. It supports my channel. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you click that subscribe button, because we still have a week of Vlogmas to go. If you want to see them, you got to make sure you click that button, because otherwise you're going to miss out on the most interesting content on YouTube. Happy Vlogmas, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.